E-commerce is all the rage, especially in the pandemic. Merchants flock to e-commerce to keep their businesses alive. But here's the challenge with e-commerce. There's a lot of complicated technology behind all those digital orders. What if there's a bug in your system? How much is that costing you in revenue? In today's episode, we talk to a co-founder and CTO of an Ottawa company that helps identify those e-commerce bugs. They're gaining customers, their revenue is growing remarkably. Who is this e-commerce darling? Coming up in Techopia Live. Hello, I'm Michael Curran from the Ottawa Business Journal. Welcome to Techopia Live. This is a regular podcast from OBJ that features executives from next generation technology companies. We want to shine a spotlight on the up and comers, and we want to keep you updated on the established players, all with a goal of keeping you and the tech sector informed and connected. In today's episode, we'll explore an Ottawa-based software startup that helps e-commerce companies identify technical bugs. This company we're going to talk to has growth and revenues that are soaring. In fact, they ranked number 2 on OBJ's fastest growing companies list in 2022. We'll talk about their astounding revenue growth as a percentage over the past 3 years. And they were also just recognized by OBJ and the Ottawa Board of Trade as one of Ottawa's best places to work. Now let's welcome our guest. Here is the co-founder and CTO of Noibu. Welcome, Filip Slatinac.
Hey.
That rolled off my tongue, Filip. That was the best I could do.
Honestly, everyone struggles with that last name. So,
Slatinac. There we go.
That close. You know what? I'll take it. That's one of the best. I typically just say Slatinac because it sounds fancy.
Okay.
But Slatinac is fortunate. Yeah.
Slatinac. We'll go with one of those. But anyways, it is wonderful to have you here, Filip, with us here today. I know that you're a graduate of U Ottawa Engineering, which is a sponsor of Techopia. And we always say U Ottawa Engineering are building that next generation of technical talent. So it's pretty cool to have you on as a grad of UO. But give me a sense of what your career path has looked like so far.
For sure. I think my career in tech started when I was quite young. Decided to teach myself how to code. I think when I was 17, because I was playing this game called Flappy Bird, and I was quite impressed. Everyone was addicted to the game, so I decided to teach myself how to code. Got into university, and then massive shout out to the University of Ottawa. Such a massive ecosystem for entrepreneurial endeavors. It was, I think, that university really skyrocketed my career personally, and I'm forever grateful for the experiences that they gave to all of us, actually, to Kaylin, Robert, and myself. While in university, I did a couple co-ops. I worked at Nokia, Sienna, IBM, and then I started my own. I worked on a startup called Neapoli. That failed brutally, but a good thing that came out from that was I met 2 crazy guys that are now my best friends and also my business partners, Robert and Kaylin, and that was kind of the genesis story of Noibu.
That's really neat. So it all started with Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of my career. Yeah.
And then came U of O, and the rest is history, as they say. So I do want to talk about you and Noibu. I hope everyone in the Techopia and Ottawa Business Journal community knows about Noibu, but just in case someone hasn't heard about the company, give us a sense. When was it founded? Number of employees, so on and so forth.
So the best way to understand what we do is we capture and tell you what errors e-commerce teams, which errors they fix. And what's special about us is we're able to quantify how much those errors are costing those e-commerce teams. That's been helpful for multiple clients. I'm sure we're going to get into that. Company was founded in 2017. How many employees? I think we're slightly under 100. And then our revenue is hovering around $8 million right now.
Okay. And give a sense of people where you are in the from a funding point of view. Any funding so far?
We have something cooking. Stay tuned for more details.
Okay.
Maybe I'll tell you on once the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Everyone's under an NDA now. Everyone watching this is under an NDA. Don't mention anything. But I got something cooking. So it stands to reason then that the company's mostly been bootstrapped and maybe a little bit of angel.
Correct. Absolutely correct. We've been bootstrapped for quite some time, from Genesis practically. Being bootstrapped built so much grit and so much character, and in all of the early employees and all of us as well. Being bootstrapped means that you're creating your own revenue, so you're growing because you're generating revenue. And so we've been bootstrapped for the last couple of years, and then we're cooking something under the covers right now.
That's awesome. And you're not, as indicated, you're not pre-revenue. You've got a product and you've got a customer. So tell us about some of the customers you're working with these days.
We have a couple hundred customers. Notable brands is Guess. E-commerce brands like Guess absolutely love our software. We help their teams detect the most critical e-commerce errors on their websites, and we help their engineering teams solve those. Off the top of my head, Guess is one of them. Champion.
Yeah.
That's one of them as well. I mean, there's a bunch of US brands that I've honestly never heard of, but they're absolutely massive in the States. There's one called Snipes. There's a couple more, but
Cool.
massive US brands.
And tell us a little bit, how do you go to market? So are you using kind of typical demand side generation to bring these customers in? How are you selling? How are you finding customers?
I wish my partner Kalen.
That's not your job as the CTO. You're
Right.
asking the wrong questions, dude. Ask me about the code.
Pretty much. But Kalen's really the genius behind our go-to-market strategy.
Good.
We've been able to bootstrap the company to close to $10 million Canadian in ARR by employing a pure outbound strategy. In a lot of ways, we've innovated on the product side, but we've created so much innovation on the sales side about how we reach out to customers, the messaging, and also the data that we use to target the right customers. So massive shout out to Kalen for sure.
What I like about your answer, by the way, it shows that each of you brings a special talent to the company. So it's never a bad thing, right? In our company, if you ask the finance manager versus the sales team, they got different perspectives on things.
Okay.
So listen, Philip, we're going to get down to some more details as it pertains to some of the technical bugs that you follow. So we're going to stay on the CTO route here for you. But before we dig into some more details on Noibu, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this episode, TD Bank. TD's relationship team is committed to your business. They take the time to understand your business and provide banking solutions that can help you achieve your business goals. A dedicated local team allows for deeper customer relationships and better service. They take the time to learn about your business and industry so they can react to changes in the marketplace and anticipate your business's evolving banking needs. Your relationship team can also connect you with other specialists at TD to help move your business forward. And once you're up and running, TD continues to actively manage your relationship, looking for ways to help grow your business. Learn more at tdcommercialbanking.com. Okay, we're back talking to Philip, the co-founder and CTO of Noibu. I've been chucking tough revenue and marketing questions, but now we're going to get to your forte. So, Philip, in preparing for our interview today, I was reading a few case studies, and one of the ones that stood out to me was Avon, very well-known company, kind of ahead of its time in terms of catalog and network sales, more specifically Fruits and Passion. So there was a story on your website, a case study about how Noibu found a e-commerce bug that, holy cow, was impacting 21% of their shoppers. Is that kind of a good example of what Noibu is helping its customers do?
It's absolutely that. And what's interesting is you would expect, if you're losing practically a quarter of your shoppers because of that bug, you would know about it, right? Someone would at least tell you about it. No, wrong. no one actually reported that bug to Avon, and so they were running blind. They had no idea this was happening, and our software caught that bug and was able to calculate the analytics and understand that it was impacting about a quarter of their traffic, which is fascinating.
So I'm not going to get too technical because this really isn't a technical podcast. It's on technology sector, not technical. But in reading some of those case studies, it seems like Noibu specializes in a certain e-commerce platform. Is that right, Filip?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of article you consumed.
Okay.
But what we pride ourselves to be is platform agnostic. So
Okay.
we pride ourselves to work on all platforms, and we've built the technology to support even future platforms, because it's important to support all types of customers, right? You have
Okay.
the BigCommerce, the Shopify's, the Magentos, the Salesforces, all those types of platforms, and we want to be the error monitoring platform for them.
That's excellent. Okay. I was thinking of Magento, but you clarified there that we've got Shopify and some of the other platforms as well. I want to talk about Noibu for a second, about some of the HR. So one of the significant recognitions you've received from OBJ and the Ottawa Board of Trade is a best places to work. And this is as you know, Filip, this is a competition where you launch an employee engagement survey. So it's based on the responses of your employers, and Noibu was ranked right near the top of the list, the top 10 list of best places to work in Ottawa. How is Noibu achieving a good level of engagement, particularly, as we've been living through a pandemic?
Great question. So it all boils down to your priorities as a company, and I say this to candidates, and I say this to people that work with Noibu today. Although we build software, we sell software, and we're focused on our product. Ultimately, we are a people company, a company where we want people to do their best work. We want to facilitate people to have a good life and have a purposeful work. And a lot of our focus is to give back to our people. For example, we don't really like the word human resources. Imagine being called a resource.
That's a good point.
But it all comes back to, and this is one of my personal mantras as well, is if you care about someone, that someone is going to care about what you care as well. And I think, regardless of the awards, I think it's absolutely beautiful to see the people flourish here at Noibu, and the people give us a chance and grow with us as well. And I think that's reflected with this award. But to be honest, the awards mean nothing to us. It's the smiles on the people's faces that make a big difference.
That's a great answer, and I'm sensing that people are very passionate about what they do at Noibu. Can you help us look under the hood a little bit? Are you guys working remote? Are you working hybrid? What's your perspective on that?
We have a policy. So we have an office. Our office is in Lansdowne, but our policy is super light. You want to work from the office, come to the office. You want to work from home, work from home. You want to work from Brazil, work from Brazil. We trust our people. We know that they're going to do their job, and they can work from wherever they want, whether that be an office, another country, or their basement. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, very interesting. So very kind of open policy there. In terms of hiring, I know that Noibu has jumped way up, from a small group of people to a fairly substantial group of people. I think you said around 100 or that. We know that some companies, Shopify has been in the headlines a little bit, are slowing down hiring, or even downsizing a bit. Where's Noibu in that? Are you going to keep hiring in 2022, 2023? Are you being careful with it? Where's Noibu at?
Definitely hiring. But I like the point that you made about being careful. I think a lot of mistakes these big companies made is they overhired. The influx of cash that happened because of low interest rates, people hired beyond their needs, and unfortunately, some poor souls are getting fired now. That's a mistake we're going to avoid by being careful with how many people we hired to meet our needs and not overhire. So as we are hiring, but we're being very careful with our needs so that we don't make the mistakes these big companies made.
Yeah. Being strategic and making sure you only take on the people that you really need right now is important. We're going to wrap up here in just a second, Filip. Before we do that, I'd like you to help us look into a crystal ball. So, we're recording this in September 2022. I'm curious if you can help us look into the future a little bit with Noibu, whether it's the fall of 2022 or 2023. I think you've hinted potentially at a funding, so we know about that. But what other milestones is Noibu pursuing right now?
We're on track to be the leader in the space that we're building in. Expect definitely more hiring, expect more people to be working with us. We expect our revenue to keep growing. Our focus on the product has never been more sharp. So expect good things from the people here at Noibu for sure.
Okay, good. Well, listen, I want to thank you, Philip, for your time today. We really appreciate it. I know you've got to run. So I'm going to bid you adieu, Philip. And as we do that, we're going to take a look at some of the other great companies that champion Techopia.
Techopia is brought to you by many great sponsors, such as EY, building a better working world. Number Crunch, offering virtual CFO services for SaaS companies. Perley Robertson Hill and McDougall, a leader in business and technology sector law. TD Bank, specialized programs for technology companies. The University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. Calian, innovative solutions delivered with integrity. Techopia is not only a podcast, we post new articles daily at obj.ca/Techopia. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, you can find Techopia at Techopia OTT. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and click the bell icon.
Well, that was great talking to the co-founder and CTO of Noibu. Thanks again to Philip, a company we will keep our eyes on. I suspect lots more news to come from them in fall 2022 and beyond. I also want to thank you for watching or listening. It's great to keep you connected to the Techopia audience, all of these great startups and the established player. Let's keep building Ottawa's technology utopia. That's Techopia. See you soon. Bye-bye.